Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I have well, this is very primitive. I have a flower press that I put together kind of at the spur of the moment. I found a couple of pieces of wood in the barrels at the scrap exchange, and I bought those and put a few layers of just this crinkly whatever paper this is. It's not waxed paper. It's definitely absorbent. It did a great job, but I wanted to show you how the flowers turned out that I pressed for using in my journals or whatever. Look how beautiful that is. I just think they turned out so pretty. And I want to include those somehow in my the springtime journal I'm working on. So that is the first page. We had one other page, or sheet, or layer. Layer is a better word. We had one other layer. And here they are, the pretty little zinnias. And then that was from some salvia. And at this point, I just want to figure out how I am going to incorporate these beautiful items. I may use some of this paper because it's wrinkled, it's got nice texture, it has a memory with it. It's what I used when I first put the flowers in here. And let's just see. If we make a little pocket. I've got one of the folders here that is from the Seven Gypsies. I believe these are like photo holders, but I thought it would be really pretty to use this for some of the flowers. They're so delicate sometimes the way they stick to the paper. That's really pretty. Look, that petal looks like it's about ready to come off. I think we need to distress this somehow. And I wonder if we want to put all of the flowers in here together. I'm still not sure exactly how I want to do this. I know one thing I want to do. Okay, so let me move this. And let's get some distress ink. What is that? That's Shabby Shutters. I need clean water. This is a travesty. I'm glad I have a few more of these, because I think it would be really pretty to have a pocket on the front with a flower inside. That way we can kind of see. And I also would want to have a piece of paper in there, I think. That's good. Let me go cut this. While we are talking about pressed flowers, I want to show you something amazing. This frame filled with flowers is about 40 years old. And life is just so, I mean, it's amazing when we have hindsight and we look back and think, wow, I never would have dreamed this or that. When I was about 12, she's my closest cousin. I love all of my cousins very much, but she and I were only a few months apart in age. I think we were about we were 7 months apart, and we grew up really close. Our mothers are sisters, so of course, grew up as sisters, and then that made us really close. But one summer, I was spending some time with my cousin. We were bored. That was before cartoons all day long. That was before video games. That was before cell phones. And my aunt suggested that we go out and pick flowers because they were growing everywhere. And then she said she would show us how to press them in books. And this is what I picked that day. So you can see goldenrod. I think this rose is the only thing that is not from that day. And I think that rose is from my grandpa's funeral. So this is really special to me. And what is really interesting about this is that at the time I was visiting that cousin, they lived just probably a mile from where I live now. And they traveled all over. You know, they weren't in that one spot long term. So it's interesting to think that she and I picked these flowers along the road probably 2 miles from here. A mile, 2 miles, not very far at all. Isn't that just amazing? So I love pressed flowers, I really do, and this has fared pretty well. Probably needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But to think that I picked those 40 years ago, really over 40 years ago, maybe 45. That's unbelievable. I need to write on the back what this is so that my children would know in case anybody wants to keep it. Okay, back to the task at hand. And rounded the corners on that, and let's see if we can slide this in here without messing it up. You know what? I tell you what I should do. Let's cut the stem a little bit more and tape that into place. I wrote Salvia 2020. Let's just slide that right in there. Put that on the front. And then we should decide what to do with these other items. You know, we could make a little booklet. That might be the best thing to do, which means I probably should go ahead and tear this bottom piece off. And let's do the same thing here. So this was nasturtium. Is that really not going to stick? Okay, it's not going to stick to that paper. I got to get something different. Maybe the masking tape will work better for this. And what we can do is make it so it's not so wide. I know this is not anywhere in connection with what I'm doing, But does anybody watch Ozark, or have you watched Ozark? That show is intense. It's one of those that's hard to watch, and it's hard not to watch. Of course, being shut in for so much of 2020 and so far 2021, I think everybody has been scrolling around looking for what they can watch, and we're watching the 3rd season currently. We're almost done with it. And I believe some of the best acting I have ever seen in my life has been the actor who portrayed Ben, Wendy's brother. Ben has mental illness. He's got bipolar depression, and I was heartbroken watching that scene where he comes completely unraveled. If you haven't seen it, Ozark it is really, really good. It is so compelling, and the acting is superb. I've fallen in love with Ruth. She is just a fireball. She's got ways that remind me of just the kind of the fierceness that a couple of my children have. And I don't know. We really enjoyed it. There have been times that I've had to hide my face from the screen because it is so intense. And there is violence. The violence is not continuous though. So it definitely has a story. It's not just violence for the sake of violence. It's about a drug cartel and a family that gets involved in that kind of by accident, and then what becomes of them because of that. So if you're looking for something really intense, that would be it. And something that, I don't know, we've pretty much binge watched season 3. I'll be honest with you, we watched season 1 and 2, no problem. And we were excited for season 3 to come out. And then when it came out, I think Jason and I both agree it was because of the pandemic and just the heaviness there and the sadness we felt. The very first 5 minutes of the first episode of season 3 were so intense, we turned it off. And we just said, we can't do this right now. But then we went back to it just a few days ago, and we were able to get through it and then get in the story again. I hear a siren. Okay, so what was this? This was a zinnias. Tape doesn't really want to stick on this paper very well. These are so pretty. Oh my goodness. So how can we take these into the book? What we need is just more. I'm almost out of masking tape. This is going to be sad when I run out. Let's put that right there. And put a piece here. And then we will do this one and this one. I really don't have many more flowers. You know, we didn't do many, and I think I might just, maybe I'll put these in the book somewhere else. These two look pretty sturdy. They might even end up sewn onto a page. So let's put these right here. Maybe that one. I don't know, we might do something with that. And we still have that. So I am, like I said, I'm busy listing things today, but I had to stop and do a little bit of work in my art journal. So let's see, let me get this up here so they won't get torn up.